Hello, good morning, good morning. This is backwards, I do not like it. It shows up right on one and then it doesn't show up right on the other. And I don't like that it's backwards when I do these lives. So bear with me for a second. Good morning, hello. Maybe that'll look better now. There we go, I think it looks right. Good morning, hello, hello. Let me take a second here and get situated. I hope you're having a great start to your Monday. My name is Misty Petralla, and I am the transformational business coach for heart-centered and spiritual entrepreneurs just like you, because it is essential that you get to your income goals, and that is what I'm all about. Okay, let's get all adjusted here. Thought I had it right, but there we go. Okay, so happy Monday, guys. Couple announcements happening this week and next. One, I am taking all next week off. If you're here, say hello, by the way. If you are here, say hello. I decided to take next week off because one, I'm working on a bunch of new stuff and I need some time to create it. Two, I need some time off. I've been busting here for about 3 months straight, and it's time to take a little bit of a break. Hello, Carlene. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Linda. So glad you're here, ladies. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm taking next week off because it's Thanksgiving here in the United States. Most people will not be working if they are from here. Some people will be, and I give you a high five. If it is your time to lean in, then it's your time to lean in, my friend. So today's topic, and thank you for everyone who voted below in this group about your favorite self-sabotage. Today's topic is about how we get out of our own way. And I shared a very personal story about how I used to, and sometimes do if I'm not really, really on it. It still happens from time to time, where my favorite way of getting in my own way is to take a ton of action, and then when I don't see immediate results, hey Luna Rose Lipke, I'm so glad you're here. If I don't see immediate results, then I start shrinking. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that is never going to serve my business. It's never going to serve your business if you find out that's something that you do. So today I want to be talking about how we get out of our own way. How we find ourselves in our own way and how we get out of it, okay? If you're here, say hello. I'm honored that you've joined in. Okay, there is a book called How to Get Out of Your Own Way. It is by Mark Goulston and Philip Goldberg. I find that tapping other people's, I have a method why I get out of my own way, but I found this book which talked about why you should get out of your own way. Okay, so let's talk about that first. Being in your own way is entirely frustrating. Now, I will say the winner of all of the ways that we get out of in our own way is Overwhelm. That was the winner in the poll in the group, and we will be talking about that in just a little bit, because Overwhelm is kind of like being stuck. It is a choice we're allowing. I'm not saying that you got yourself into overwhelm on purpose. It's something we are allowing in our businesses, okay? And something that we are, if we find ourselves there more often than not, totally been there. This is not about judgment, been there myself. If you find yourself in overwhelm more often than not, it absolutely is a self-sabotage, and there are ways to move through it. So we're going to be talking about that primary one today. But there are many, and I'll be talking about them all week, so don't worry, okay? So why do I need to get out of my own way? Why does it even matter? Can't I just be in my own way? Can't I just watch my self-sabotages happen? Isn't that just allowed, Misty? And by the way, if you are here, either now or in the replay later, why don't you in the comment box put your very own favorite blend of self-sabotage? What really, really gets your works into a knot? What stops you from moving forward? What mindset thing do you do to yourself This is not about judgment. We all have them all, okay? They're all there for a legitimate reason. So this is not about judging yourself. It's just about being honest and sharing with the group, okay? So what is your favorite blend of self-sabotage? Mine was taking a bunch of action and shrinking. Taking a bunch of action and shrinking again because it's scary. And what if I don't get those results coming in like immediately? Which is not how this happens, okay? What is your personal flavor? What do you do that keeps you in your own way in your business month after month after month? Or maybe it happens every once in a while, like when you're about to launch something, when you're in the process of selling something, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're pushing outside of your comfort zone. These are all reasons and whys around why we do it, okay? Lack of planning, too last minute. Hey girl, you're gonna be hearing from me today around that one. Not from me personally, but that's one of the primary reasons we get into overwhelm, okay? So we're gonna be talking about that in a second. So why do we have to move through it? Why are you here even, right? One, you need to deal with it now. Not tomorrow, not, getting out of your own way is not a nice to have. Hey Kim, good to see you. If you're here, say hello. Thank you for saying hi. So what is your personal brand? Okay, Tracy says procrastination is huge, not knowing where to start on technology. Okay, and I would even say that that's like technology overwhelm, which is legit because tech can seem like, hear you on that. Now I will tell you, I run my business very tech light, so you do not need to have a ton of tech to run your business. Although if you do have evergreen programs, then probably you're leaning on some tech. Okay, so you need to deal with it now. This is not a nice to have to fix our blocks and our overwhelms, okay? It is not a nice to have. Here's the worst thing. Here's worse than any of the getting in your own ways, okay? Because I've experienced it personally, especially around this book I've been working on. I have got myself into all kind of procrastination around it, okay? So you are not alone. There is no judgment here. Discouraged by lack of engagement. Yes, I feel you, Linda. You are not alone. Thank you for sharing. I honor everything that people have written here because it is completely fair, okay? But what is worse than any of these things is regret. And that is no joke, okay? I'm going to get a little bit deep here for a second, okay? Because it's required. We are not guaranteed any days on this planet. You're not. We think now in the age of living for forever that everyone's going to be lived to be, 107. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is just not the way it works. There are no guarantees about how long any of us have on this journey here. There aren't. And regret is one of the biggest things that people on their deathbed, this is from a article that I read, which I all of a sudden cannot think of who wrote it. But one of the primary things that people talk about on their deathbed is regret. Don't feel, and I'm talking about consistent income, but whatever you're working to create here, you're working to create it because you know in your heart that that is what you are meant to be doing, that there is a reason why you need to do this thing, that you feel called to do it, that there's passion behind it. Dealing with these things now and getting out of our own way now is not a nice to have. You owning the magic that you bring to this planet right now, this is why I posted this yesterday in the group. If you don't bring it, we won't have it from anyone else. It will be lost out on by this planet because you did not bring whatever your message is, whatever your work is, we lose it. So not only do we lose out, which is about us, but you lose out because regret is painful. You do not want to regret. You don't want to regret this business. You don't want to regret what's possible for you. You don't want to regret the income that you're trying to bring in. You don't want to regret month after month after month passing you by and knowing that you're meant for this thing and knowing that it's something we're doing to ourselves. Oh my God. And if you've been through it like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row, then you know what I'm talking about, sister or brother. So, regret. This is why we need to do this now. Do not wait. Do not wait for later. Okay? This is why you need to deal with your self-sabotage, whatever your personal flavor is, why you need to deal with it right now. Okay? Avoiding it is not a solution. Oh shit. You know why? Because I've tried that too, and it does not work. Maybe it'll get better next month. Maybe it'll get better next time I try. Maybe it'll get better next time I do it. Maybe it'll be different next time. That is never a solution. Never gonna be, not gonna be, ain't gonna have it, not gonna be it. It's not gonna work, okay? So, and avoiding it leads to something that's even more poisonous, which is resentment and lack of trust in yourself. When you resent yourself, when you start to not trust that you can create, you quit. And that also breeds resentment in yourself. Lack of trust. Haven't done it, not gonna do it. Haven't been able to do it, not gonna do it. Haven't been able to do it, totally not gonna be able to do it. If you hear that playing in your brain, I've never done it before, how could I possibly do it now? I've never done it, there's no way I can do that now. Well, I have clients at this very moment who are disproving that to themselves at this very moment. Okay? So avoidance never works. It's like drinking poison and hoping the person that you resent dies. But you're drinking the poison. It's never going to work. Avoidance breeds terrible resentment. How do you feel about the thing that you've been sabotaging? Doesn't it feel farther away every time you sabotage? For me, that is absolutely true. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that is another reason. You can't fix something until you're willing to look at it. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. We can't fix it until you're willing to look at it. So we are here today to look at it. Okay. You absolutely can shift this. You are not stuck to it. You're not bound by it. It is not yours for forever. Okay? But first you have to admit that something's wrong. That has to come first. Not that you are bad. Nope. Not that you can't do it. Nope. You just have to admit to yourself that you're watching a behavior of yours that's blocking something you want. That's it. I had to admit it to myself. You guys, I launch like every other month, right? And I went about 3 years ago, probably about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was watching myself put something out there and shrink back away. So no one would sign up for it. Thus creating the actual thing I was afraid of. My fear was, I'm going to put this thing out. People know me a little, like I have a little tiny bit of a following. See, I'm in my own head, like totally up in my own jam about it. Have my own following. If everyone doesn't sign up right away, what does that say about me as a person? Until I was willing to be really honest with myself about it, about what was actually happening, what was blocking the thing I wanted so very much, there's no way to move through it. You have to admit that and again, this isn't you're bad. This isn't, I'm so bad, I can't believe I can't do this. No, we're not doing that in this land. This is the land of love and self-care, okay? So the first piece of this is admitting that there's some sort of behavior that needs loved on more than it is getting loved on right now. Right now you're ignoring it or been pushing it away or whatever. I've been there too. But if there is some sort of self-sabotage in there, that is your little kid inside who needs some attention. And that is the only way to fix it. Pushing it away, ignoring it. You wouldn't do that to a puppy that was like sick on the side of the road all alone. Why would you do that to yourself? Okay? So the very first step here is admitting that there's something happening that needs your attention with love. Okay? That's number one. Few things will make you feel worse than self-sabotage, but nothing makes you feel better than moving through it. It is where you get your trust back in yourself. I have 2 clients right now, actually 3, who are pushing so far outside of their comfort zone that they were convinced that there was no way they could be doing the thing that they're doing. And in fact, they are doing it. They are moving through it. This is completely possible. If I can admit my own self-sabotage and learn to move through it, you can too. Okay? And it is the most satisfying thing you can do. When you can see this thing inside of you that needs attention, give it attention, and then next time not have that same thing happen. Or you can adjust your behavior even though there's a belief coming up. Okay? It is one of the most empowering things you can do. So let's talk about how, okay? Now we're all about the how. How am I going to move through this thing? So one is admitting it. I can see, I have my notes down here, so if you see me look down, that's probably why. My ultra color notes. So one is there's something happening. So I want you to admit it. Admit it in the comment, and not admit it like I'm terrible, because you're not terrible. This is not about self-deprecation. This is not about you being wrong, bad, whatever you could possibly be saying about yourself. This isn't about that at all. Okay? This is about owning it. I own that I sometimes sabotage myself. I sabotage myself by whatever your flavor is. Mine is allowing, overwhelm's been there. Hello. So what's yours? Somebody, Tracy said procrastination is huge. I'm allowing myself to procrastinate. And I will tell you, when we back away from something, like I was, like shrinking, when we procrastinate, when we block ourselves, when we get discouraged, and we retreat a little bit, it's actually a form of relief. No one here is at fault. If you're doing one of these things, if you're allowing a self-sabotage, when it happens, it's actually a form of relief. Relief from what, Misty? It's a form of relief from the fear or the overwhelm or whatever is happening of you moving outside of your comfort zone. That's it. Procrastination is a relief. If I stop working on this, if I go do the dishes instead of write my book, if I retreat from my thing I'm trying to get out there into the world, if I pull back and retreat, it's actually a relief from stepping outside of my comfort zone. So no one here is at fault, okay? That I have to keep saying that. I do not want you to say, I'm so bad because I get discouraged by my lack of engagement. I'm so bad because I don't know where to start with tech. That is not where we are with this, okay? First is about awareness. I understand that I get into overwhelm, or I get into procrastination, or I back off from my message because it feels better than pushing outside of my comfort zone. It's just a form of relief. So one, I want you to write down on a piece of paper in front of you if you can, on your phone, if you're out somewhere and you don't have paper, write it down. I honor that I am experiencing self-sabotage because it feels uncomfortable to move outside of my comfort zone. So we come up against our comfort zone and retreat back. We come up against our comfort zone and retreat back. In whatever way. I'm overwhelmed. There's too much. I retreat back. I'm not getting the results I want right away. I retreat back. I'm feeling discouraged by my lack of engagement. I retreat back. Okay? We do it as relief. But acknowledging that to yourself has to come first. And not from a place of blame, but just observationally. This is what's happening. And I love myself anyway. We could even tap on it. I acknowledge that I am going through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm going through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge, right here. I acknowledge that I'm going through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm going through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge, in here in your armpit, I acknowledge, you can tap it or rub it. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge, this is the chop right here. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway, okay? Even if you just do the top of your head, I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway, okay? This is not about judgment, it's just about awareness. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm moving through self-sabotage and I love myself anyway. And you can do this anytime you find yourself in one of these situations. I acknowledge that I am in overwhelm and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I am in overwhelm and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm in overwhelm and I love myself anyway. You want to do it right there on where your heart is. I acknowledge that I am in procrastination, whatever it is, and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm in procrastination and I love myself anyway. I acknowledge that I'm in procrastination and I love myself anyway, okay? Because again, this is not about judgment. This is about honoring what's happening for you. And you keep tapping until the feeling of that, whatever it is, that upsettedness, that triggered feeling, until it relaxes a little bit. That could be 5 minutes, that could be 10 minutes, that could be 15 minutes, okay? You have energetic practices available to you to relieve some of these things, okay? You are not bound by it. If you don't know how to tap, just look up Brad Yates. He taps about everything, okay? He has a tap on YouTube about everything. Brad Yates, Y-A-T-E-S. And all of these self-sabotages, overwhelm, procrastination, fear of getting seen, discouraged by lack of engagement, every one of those he has a tap on that's free on YouTube, okay? So use Brad Yates. Thank you so much. That's him. Hey, Lamorla, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so that's step one, acknowledging that it's happening without judgment, okay? Lamorla, what's your favorite brand of self-sabotage? Let's just own it here. Just let us know. So the second thing is, and there's no, hey Raquel, good to see you too. We're here acknowledging about our self-sabotages right now, without judgment, without anger, without remorse, just with love, okay? So comment in the box below what your favorite flavor of self-sabotage is, because you are not bound by it, okay? You're not. So acknowledging that it's there is number one. Number two, getting clear on what is happening and why. What is happening when you're on your way to self-sabotage? Now, one of the things that I think is a huge blocker for people is trying to do the 3 steps of everything on the same day, okay? So here's what happens. With no plan whatsoever, we just boop into our day and go, okay, here's the 16 things I need to do, and also this, and I need to do this, and you work on a little bit, move to the next thing, work on a little bit, move to the next thing, work on a little bit, move to the next thing, and you never actually get anything done, and then you try to take a little bit of action from that same energy, okay? And every time that blocks people. There are 3 steps to everything we do in our business. Everything. 1, the ideation of it. I have an idea. I just got to download. I have to share this thing with my community. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Number one, the idea. Number two, the creation of it. I have to do a Facebook Live. I got to do I'm going to write an ebook. I want to get discovery calls. I'm working to get my new program out there. I have to get into marketing more. I have to share my message. Blah, 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 blah. The creation of it. So you got to like create the elements of whatever it is. If you're doing a launch, all the marketing pieces and the emails and the opt-in page and the sales page. If it's a program, all the stuff you have to create for the program itself, okay? So, one, the idea. Two, the creation of it, whatever it is and all the elements that go with it. And three, the sharing of it. Those are 3 steps. And in most cases, everyone wants to do all 3 steps at one time. Ashwagandha, that's exactly right. So when we try to do all 3 steps, the ideation, the planning and creation of it, because planning's in there too, and the sharing of it, when we try to do all 3 of those in one step, it is overwhelming. So when you find yourself heading into your self-sabotage, why is it happening? Are you not giving yourself enough planning time? Are you not giving yourself enough sharing time? Are you not giving yourself enough time to create the stuff? Are you trying to do everything on one day? When I try to do everything on one day, and because you can't, look, I have a launch coming up in the middle of next month, okay? I'm doing another challenge next month before Christmas, okay? I'm starting to work on that now. It's fully 1 month before. When we try to do everything at the last minute, get it out, get it planned, get it marketed, all the creation, all the stuff, all the things, there's no way you're not going to get overwhelmed. When we don't give ourselves enough time to market something and get people to it, of course you're going to feel a lack of engagement because you're not planning out far enough ahead. We have to give ourselves time to do all 3 steps. And the sharing of it, step 3, I'm not flicking you off, it's my ring finger. Step 3, the 3rd step, needs a good amount of time on it. I'm giving myself fully 1 full month to talk about the challenge I have coming up in a month. Do you see? If I try to write a whole book in a weekend, of course I'm going to procrastinate it. No way can I do all that. What are you trying to create right now? Let's get some engagement going. What are you trying to create right now that you feel overwhelmed about? Because overwhelm was the overwhelming answer. And that happens because we're trying to do too much at one time. Oh, there are 3 steps to everything. 1, the ideation of it. I have this great idea. Well, many times we don't have that idea fleshed out all the way. Okay, so you got to flesh out your idea. That's step 1. I just talked to a client about this the other day. She had this amazing idea, but when we started looking into the idea, it needed a whole bunch more steps. Okay, so the ideation first, like I have a download, I'm going to do a thing. Well, you got to create that thing in your head. If you have a new program, like I have a group program that's going to be coming out. I'm going to be talking about it in a little over a month. I can't just like rush out without really understanding what this idea is and why and all the benefits of it, all that stuff. Okay, so that's the first step. The idea, and getting clear on the idea and the benefits of it. Not the logistics, like you're going to have a workbook every day and all this stuff. Nobody cares about that. What they need to know is, how is this idea going to change their lives? Even Business Demystified is meant to change your guys' business lives. Okay? Even this weekly show. What are the benefits of the thing? Why do people need it in their lives? Do they need it in their lives? Okay? Essential step. Number 2, the creation of it. You have to create all the things. Are there Canva things that need done? Do you need to go into MailChimp and create a opt-in page? Are you in ClickFunnels? Or you need to create some stuff and write some stuff, marketing elements for whatever you're doing. That's the second step. You got to create the thing. It has to come from here to out here into the world. You have to create it. 3, you have to share it. And you have to have, depending on what you're trying to do, like for Business Demystified, I just let you guys know every week what we're doing because it's a constant and ongoing thing because I show up here every week. Even though I'm taking next week off, I will be here next Business Demystified because there's some things I want to say about Thanksgiving. But you got to share it. Dudes, I'm going to be sharing my challenge coming up for 4 weeks. Do you see? There's 3 steps to everything. The idea, the creation, and the sharing. And everyone tries to gob that into one thing with no planning because nobody likes planning. But if you don't plan it out, this is what happens. Overwhelm. I'm going to bump down through the comments again because there were some really good comments. Procrastination. I have an idea. I get terrified in the sharing of it, in the creation of it. I get blocked, right? And that's all fair, guys. Completely fair. But you can't let those steps that you can't erase block you. Because we need your thing in this world. We need it. Not fakesy boom booms. Really, we really need it. Okay? So 1, admit to yourself that there's a problem. This is not about self-judgment. It's not about anger, frustration. How could you do this? I'm so dumb. La, 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 la. Whatever you could be saying to yourself. It's not about that. 2, what is happening that's creating the overwhelm? Am I trying to do 6 steps at one time? Okay? You've got to give yourself enough space and time to work on it. And that's actually how you just show up in your day and do the things you're meant to be doing. You take a little bit of time as the CEO. Hello from South Africa. Oh, yay. Hello, Nadine. So good to see you. I'm honored you're here. So 1, admitting to yourself that there's an issue in your business and that there's something that's happening for you personally, not with judgment, with love. There's something that's happening for you personally that's stopping what you want. 2, what is happening? How is it happening? What's happening that's got me bunched up? Why am I in procrastination? Is it fear? Is it overwhelm? Am I comparing myself to everyone else, which is really blocking my energy and shutting me down? So what is it that's happening? Okay, understanding that is required. I was seeing that I wasn't giving myself, and I sent this in the email today when I was talking about my big self-sabotage, which is taking a ton of action, not giving myself enough time to share and get it out there. See, I was doing this too for a long time, okay? And I just expected that if I put something out there that a whole bunch of people would jump on it automatically. No, dudes. No, that is not how social media works anymore. You need to give yourself a good amount of time to plan it out, create it, and share it. All 3 of those steps have to happen every time. And the sharing is actually the bulk part of it. I don't care if you're writing a book. I don't care if you're creating a new program. If you aren't sharing it, people can't join you because they don't know it's there. Sharing is the bulk mass of what you do. Okay? And if that part has you nervous, if the sharing of it has you nervous, how can you break that down smaller so that you're doing each little piece that doesn't feel so overwhelming? Okay? Later.com is great for this because you can upload a bunch of content into there and you won't feel like you're actually sharing it. But you don't get out of the need to share it. And share it again, and share it again, and share it again, and share it again, and share it again. Okay? And like I said earlier, if we don't take a minute and slow down to find out what's happening, you'll keep recreating this cycle again and again. And this is one of the things I help people with strategy, and that's part of what I've been doing for a very long time. But a lot of what I do in my coaching is helping people with their mindset around this exact thing. Okay? Because it's really one of, if I had a coach one time, and she said, actually, she's still my coach, and she still says this: mindset first, action second. That is no joke. If you're convinced that you can't do it, what kind of action are you going to possibly take that's actually going to get you anywhere near what you want? If I keep believing that it's people don't want my stuff, it's not that I'm doing it strategically inaccurate, which I was, because I wasn't giving myself enough time to share it. But I was like, oh, everyone's not jumping on it right away. What? Everyone's not jumping on it right away. That means they don't want it. So shrink, 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 shrink. And I did that again and again and again, which stops me from taking the action I need to actually get it sold. I was helping 2 clients with this last week because they were in the middle of launching something. Okay? Mindset has to come first. Strategy has to come second. You can pour the most amazing, brilliant strategy on top of a business. But if the people who are doing the strategy are convinced that their message isn't important, are convinced that they're having to feel salesy, or that the tech is too overwhelming, or that, I'm trying to do 6 steps all at one time, and overwhelm is there's just too many things to do. If you find yourself in that energy again and again and again, what action can you possibly take that would relieve that? It isn't possible. It has to be mindset first. It has to be looking at this from a place of love and honor and acceptance. Not from judgment, but from like, hey, there's something happening here, and I need to give myself some love around this, some attention and some awareness. Okay? You are not trapped by the self-sabotage, not even for a second. You're not owned by it. It doesn't own you. You are not stuck there forever. It just takes awareness and love. I say to people all the time, yeah, I'm super friendly, la la la. But there's gonna be times in our coaching where you're not gonna love me. You're not gonna be like, Misty, you're the most amazing. You're probably gonna think somewhere along the way, Misty, oh, I'm so mad at you. Because we need to look at things that feel uncomfortable. And that's okay. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. It just means it needs your love and attention. And that's okay. Okay? Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Elizabeth. Yay! You are not owned by it. You are more powerful than your self-sabotage. It's just a little kid side of you that is feeling uncomfortable with the moving outside of the comfort zones, and whose energy is old and has been around longer than this current version of you. So it's a strong energy and can impact your actions. But if you love on it, if you get aware from a place of love and honor and acceptance, which is how I do it, then anything is shiftable. And I mean anything. I'm watching it happen right now with my clients, and it's freaking beautiful, okay? So those are the steps, okay? 1, stop trying to do all 3 steps at the same time. Ideation, creation, and sharing. You cannot do all of those steps at the same time. 2, if you find love, honor, acceptance, yes, Lamorla, if you find that there's a self-sabotage, it's about being clear about what's happening and why. And I'm making this up. I get up too late in the morning. If I go to bed earlier, I'll be more awake earlier so I can get more done, so I'm not ending my day at 9 o'clock at night. You have so much creative control over your own life and the self-sabotage. It's just about using your creativity to work through it. Okay? So I went 10 minutes over, guys. But I had to go through this because this is really important. So thank you for being here with me today. If you're interested in a business breakthrough around your particular self-sabotage, please DM me and let me know, okay? I'm booking calls, well, not next week, but this week and the week after. You're so welcome, Tracy. Because look, we need your message out there. We need you sharing it with the world. It is not a nice to have, it is required. You came here to share your message, the one that is in your heart. You came here to bust through this self-sabotage, the one that you know is blocking you, okay? You're so welcome, you're so welcome, you're so welcome. So please, if you find yourself month after month after month in a self-sabotage, I want you to book a business breakthrough call with me. It's not a big sales call. It's not like that. It's you and me talking about what's happening in your business and how to move through it right now, okay? I'm gonna drop the link in the main group today. You're so welcome, you're so welcome, you're so welcome. I'm gonna drop the link in the main group today so that you can grab a call with me. But if you want right now, just go direct message me. Just click my little face up in the top left-hand corner and message me now, and I'll send you the link individually, okay? Because look, I know this stuff is scary, but I also know how to help you move through it with a lot of love and self-appreciation and care, okay? And I'm telling you, on the other side of the self-sabotage is everything you really want. No joke. Like I said, I'm watching it happen with clients at this exact moment. People who are like convinced that they're not going to be able to have a business and booking clients. People who are convinced that no one just wants to show up at their thing, and all of a sudden they have a whole bunch of people there. Okay, so it is quite possible, even if you are overly frustrated with it. Okay. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing week. Don't forget to put what your focus for the week is, and maybe it's just watching your self-sabotage happen, watching it happen, watching how it feels, watching what thoughts arise, okay? Being able to pay attention to that is the first step, and it puts you in so much more power than you think you have right now, okay? It's watching it objectively, like, oh my God, I'm doing it again. I'm gonna go do the dishes instead of work on the thing I know that I want, even though I'm afraid of it, and la la la, whatever it is that's arising in your head, okay? Please book a call with me, even if you just want to connect. There's a bunch of you on here who I've never met before, so it would be my honor just to connect with you. Like I said, it's not a big pressury, salesy thing like that. It's not like that at all. I want to meet you. You're here in this group, and you're helping in some way, shape, or form, in whatever way that is, to change the world. I want to know more about what you're doing, okay? Just as a colleague. All right, guys, I love you. Have an amazing day. I will see you on the flip side. You are not owned by that self-sabotage, my love. It's just an experience you're having. All right? I'll talk to you guys later. Be safe. Bye.